Team Netherlands, the biggest overachiever in WBC history, a team that gets better with every edition of the tournament, a team that's always fun to watch. This year's team brings an NPB record holder, 3 sets of brothers, and the best balance of players from the European continent and the Caribbean that you'll see from any team. No one would have been surprised if they had gone winless in their first WBC back in 2006. They lost to Puerto Rico and Cuba as expected, but then got the most dominating WBC win ever. A no-hitter from Sharon Martís gave them a 10-0 Mercy Rule win in 7 innings over Panama. They out-hit the Panamanian team 16-0. In 2009, they shocked the world, winning the first game over Dominican Republic, a team picked by many to win it all. Later in pool play, they did the only thing that could possibly be more shocking. They beat the Dominicans again, and they played well in 2 losses to Puerto Rico to advance to the next round. In the second round, they lost to Venezuela and USA and were eliminated. In 2013, they beat Korea and Australia, lost to the home team Taiwan, were in a 3-way tie for first, good enough to advance. This time in the second round, they picked up a couple wins, both over Cuba. 2 losses to Japan, but a second-place finish qualified them for the semifinals. In the semis, their tournament ended with a 4-1 loss to eventual champion Dominican Republic. In 2017, they again finished second in the opening round with wins over Taiwan and Korea and a loss to Israel. In the second round, they lost in extra innings to Japan and got a pair of Mercy Rule wins over Cuba and Israel to make their return to the semifinals. And in the semis, they were so close, losing to Puerto Rico 4-3 in 11 innings. They are one of only 6 countries with more than one top 4 finish. They've gotten better with every tournament, and the only way they can improve on their last performance is to win their semifinal match and advance to the championship game. Their WBC performance did not carry into the 2019 Premier 12. They lost to Mexico, USA, and Dominican Republic by 8, 9, and 10 runs respectively, for an 0-3 finish in pool play. For the Olympics, they were runner-up to Israel at the Europe-Africa qualifier. Then, at the final qualifier, they lost once to Dominican Republic and twice to Venezuela, failing to qualify for the Olympics. Their starting lineup is mostly players from Major League Baseball. Others come from the minors. Some are ex-MLB or ex-minor league players. Others come from the Honkbal Hoofdklasse, the professional league of the Netherlands. Not sure what to compare the Dutch league to, but low single A seems like a good comparison. And of course the players on this roster are the best of the best from over there, so they're more likely AA quality players. Pool A in Taichung, Taiwan is where they've been placed. They're bringing the most talented team, should be the favorites but not by much. All 5 teams have a good shot at winning this pool. There isn't that one team that's clearly behind the others like you see in other pools. Netherlands have done quite well against Cuba in the past, but this is a different Cuban team than usual. We're not quite sure what to expect. Taiwan is the host team. Last time Netherlands played the opening round in Taiwan was in 2013, and Taiwan came out the winner. Italy's got a team with active Major League players and rising prospects. Any team with that sort of makeup can be dangerous. Panama, the team that got no hit by Netherlands in the first WBC, will be looking for some revenge, and could even be up against the same pitcher. That would be Sharon Martís. He was 18 at the time, now 35. He pitched in MLB from 2008 to 2013. Still one of the top pitchers in the Dutch league. Last year he threw 73 innings, 8 starts, 9 times in relief. ERA 1.22, WHIP 6.92. Jair Jurgens pitched in MLB from 2007 to 2014, won over 50 games with 1 All-Star selection. Since then he's pitched in Taiwan and Mexico. This winter he played a little in Venezuela, but gave up 6 runs in 3 starts, 5 2/3 innings. Lars Hoyer, a former Mariners prospect, now the best starting pitcher in the Dutch league. In 2022 he made 12 starts, 94 innings, 99 strikeouts, ERA 0.86, WHIP 7.02. Scott Prins is another great one from the Dutch league. 55 1/3 innings, ERA 0.65, WHIP 8.13. Tom DeBlock is a 26-year-old former Detroit Tigers prospect. Reached high single A for them in 2019. In the Dutch league, he threw a perfect game at the start of the 2021 season. Later that year, he played in the Mexican Summer League, where he only made 1 start, giving up 2 runs in 5 innings. 23-year-old Aaron de Groot has only played in the Dutch league. 2022 numbers: 9 starts, 48 innings, ERA 2.59, WHIP 11.92. Dennis Bergerstedt has played his entire professional career in the Dutch league. In 2022, he threw 102 innings and 14 starts, ERA 1.41, WHIP 7.16, with a record of 10-1. Ryan Huntington, a 26-year-old lefty, is another Dutch league pitcher. 14 starts, 90 innings, ERA 3.79. Now to the bullpen, and we start with a good one. 3-time All-Star Kenley Jansen last season led the league in saves and games finished, both for the second time. 65 games, 64 innings, 85 strikeouts, ERA 3.38, WHIP 10.47. Unfortunately, he will not be available in the first 2 rounds. He will only pitch if the team reaches the semifinals. Pedro Strop threw over 500 innings in relief in MLB from 2009 to 2021. Played in the Dominican League this winter. 13 games, ERA 3.55, WHIP 14.21. He's Dominican, but his father comes from Curacao. Juan Carlos Silbaran previously reached AAA in both the Royals and Cardinals system. This winter he pitched in Nicaragua but had a rough time. 4 starts, 17 1/3 innings, ERA 8.83. Derek West is American but with 1 Dutch parent. At AA Corpus Christi last season, 32 games, 46 innings, ERA 4.82. In Puerto Rico this winter, 14 games, 17 2/3 innings, ERA 1.02, WHIP 7.36. Diamondbacks prospect Eric Mendez appeared 44 times at Single-A Visalia, ERA 3.97, WHIP 14.01. 19-year-old Antoine Kelly, the youngest player on this roster, a Pirates prospect. Last year in the Rookie League he struck out 29 batters in 23 1/3 innings, mostly in relief, with an ERA of 2.31. Jaden Estanista, a 21-year-old Phillies prospect. Last year in the Rookie League he struck out 35 batters in 31 1/3 innings, in 5 starts and 7 relief appearances, ERA 2.01, WHIP 9.57. Yorheni Kasmiri is a 21-year-old Blue Jays prospect. Last year at Single-A Dunedin, he posted a 4.32 ERA and 8 1/3 innings of relief. Arai Franzen, a 21-year-old Reds prospect. Last year at Single-A Daytona, he threw 39 innings, 6 starts, 7 times in relief, ERA 6.46. Wendell Florinis, a former Orioles prospect, now is a dependable reliever in the Mexican League in the summer and in the Dominican League in the winter. This winter he threw 7 innings of relief and allowed only 1 run and 1 hit. Franklin Van Gerp, the only player on this roster from the island of Sint Maarten, a former Giants and Mariners prospect. 2022 was spent playing on 2 different independent league teams, where he had a 1.17 ERA and 13 relief appearances. Kevin Kelly, one of the best relievers in the Dutch League, 44 innings, ERA 1.23, WHIP 7.05. Dylan Farley, a 21-year-old lefty in the Dutch League. Last year he threw 15 innings with an ERA of 2.40. Mike Bolsenbroek, the last time he played in the Major League system was in 2010 at Single-A Lakewood. The last time he played anywhere was in the Australian League for the 2019 to 2020 season, where he gave up 3 runs in 2 1/3 innings. That's 22 pitchers in all. It includes those from the designated pitchers pool, so you won't see all of them. Neither the rotation nor the bullpen looks too impressive. The starting rotation will include a couple pitchers years removed from their major league careers, now getting up there in age, and a couple of the best starting pitchers in the Dutch League, but that's not what you want going up against hitters from MLB and other high-level leagues of the world. Their pitchers will not be the ones to get them out of Pool A. That will have to be done by the hitters, and they are bringing the best lineup of hitters in this group. In the outfield, we find our first set of brothers. Richie Palacios, a 25-year-old left-handed hitter, made his major league debut with the Guardians last year. 54 games with a line of .232, .293, .286. His brother Josh also bats left-handed. In 29 games with the Nationals last season, he hit .213, .245, .255. Richie spent all his time in left last year. Josh spent about equal time in left and right. Jurickson Profar played all his games in left last year, but could also play at first base, which he's done in past years. In 2022 with the Padres, he played in 152 games, hit 15 home runs and 36 doubles, and slashed .243, .331, .391. His name was not included on the final 30-man roster when it was revealed, but it was said last week that he will be a member of the team. Roger Bernardina, another left-handed batter, played in MLB from 2008 to 2014. Also played in Korea, Taiwan, and Mexico. In the past year, he played in the Dutch League in the summer and the Nicaraguan League in the winter, putting up similar stats in each. In the 2 leagues combined, 68 games, 17 stolen bases, slash line .355, .462, .474. He's played all outfield positions in the past, but only played in center last year. Vladimir Ballantyne, the NPB single-season home run record holder, will be playing for the last time at this WBC. Last played in Japan in 2021. In the past year, he saw limited time in Mexico last summer and in the Dominican Republic this winter. He almost always plays in left. Xander Wheel played at AAA St. Paul in 2021, his 3rd straight year at the AAA level. In 2022, he played independent ball at High Point, where he slashed .260, .344, .576, and set single-season franchise records with 32 home runs and 98 RBI in 115 games. The infield is where the biggest stars are. They've got one of the best shortstops in Xander Bogaerts, a 4-time All-Star and 5-time Silver Slugger. In 2022, he hit .307, .377, .456, with 15 home runs and 38 doubles. Jonathan Schoop should get the start at second. That's where he played 129 games last year. Coming off a down year, in 2022 he hit .202, .239, .322 with 11 home runs. The year before he batted .278 with 22 home runs. Andrelton Simmons is also coming off a down year. He hit .173, .244, .187. He was a good hitter in past years, also won 3 Gold Gloves. And maybe his WBC magic will return. Over 15 career WBC games he's got a .339 average. Last season he split time between second and short after years of playing only at short. In order to get them both in the lineup, Simmons will probably start at short, while Bogaerts will move over to third, a position he played in past years. Didi Gregorius is another infield option and a left-handed bat, but like the last two, he's also coming off a bad season. In 63 games with the Phillies, his line was .210, .263, .304. He's played nothing but shortstop the last 7 years. Ray Patrick Ditter is a Marlins prospect, reached AAA Jacksonville last summer, where he hit .240, .307, .317. He plays mostly at short but also plays at second quite a bit. Charlin Schoop, brother of Jonathan, is a former AAA Orioles prospect, now playing in the Dutch League. Last year in 23 games he slashed .300, .414, .513 with 4 home runs. He plays at short but in past years played all infield positions. Jeremy Profar, brother of Jurickson, was a AAA Rangers prospect back in 2019. Last summer he played just 6 games in the Mexican League, slashing .261, .320, .304. Played in left field in all of those 6 games, but in past years split his time between first and third, with an occasional appearance at second. Dwayne Kemp was a Cubs prospect way back in the day. He's been in the Dutch League the last 13 years. Last season hit .318, .389, .344, 15 steals in 41 games. Played mostly at second and third last year with a few games in left, and even a couple games at catcher. Behind the plate they've got Chadwick Tromp. Tromp only played in 1 game for the Braves last year, though it was a really good game, 3 out of 4 with a double and 3 batted in. At AAA Gwinnett he played in 70 games, hit 12 home runs, and slashed .253, .297, .242. The other 2 catchers are Dutch leaguers. Dashenko Ricardo played in 25 games, hit .302, .337, .465. And Siknarf Loopstock played in 23 games, hit 4 home runs, and slashed .320, .418, .587. So it's a good group of hitters, no one's missing. The best Dutch players in the world are here. Should be the best hitting team in Pool A. Except maybe Cuba, hard to compare the two. There is some concern with a few of their major league hitters coming off bad seasons. Bogaerts is the only one that's been really good in MLB lately, but the hitting should be good enough to get them out of the first round. As for pitching, it's hard to say how good Martiz and Jurgens will be, but I'd imagine those two will start against Cuba and Taiwan. Those 2 teams seem like their toughest competition. Taiwan will be bringing the best pitchers from the CPBL. Cuba will have the best pitchers from the Cuban National Series. The Netherlands will have better luck using aged ex-MLB pitchers rather than the best from the Dutch League. One thing I really like about this team is the continuity. Hensley Mullins will once again be their manager. Andrew Jones and Bert Blyleven will be there too. For a lot of these players it'll be their 3rd WBC. There wasn't a series of decommits like we saw from the other top countries. Maybe that's why they've been successful in the WBC. They're more of a team. They don't have that revolving door with players going in and out. They look like slight favorites in this pool. I'd put their chances of advancing at 60%. Their hitters will have to be playing their absolute best. In the second round, the hitting probably won't be enough. They'll be up against really good pitching in that round. Chances of them beating Japan or Korea are about 20%. Chances of them winning their second round game, then winning both games of the championship round, 5%. Someday the Netherlands can win the WBC, but I don't think this is the one. Again, I could be wrong about that. Maybe they work better as a team, something you can't measure by stats. They've exceeded expectations in the last few WBCs, but in this one I expect them to just meet expectations and make a second round exit. But that's just what I think. Let me know what you think down in the comments. That's all for this one, and until next time, this is Baseball International. See ya.